Welcome to a new episode of my Linux driver tutorials. In today's video I will show you how you can write a Linux device driver. And the principles I'm showing you here you can apply to any given device for which you want to write a driver. So it doesn't matter if you have an I2C device, an PCI Express device, a USB device, it doesn't matter. The Linux device drivers always following the same rules. And for an example, I will show you how to write this driver for a device tree device, which I have added with a device tree overlay I've shown you in my last video. But again, the principle does apply for any type of devices. It's always the same flow, nevertheless which type of device you have. Okay, so you can see I'm connected to my Raspberry Pi over SSH. I'm in my Linux driver tutorials folder. And as a template for today's video, I will copy my from my device tree, or I will copy the folder with my Better Hello World Linux kernel module, and I will create a new folder here, device tree driver, device tree device driver. Okay, let's name it this way. And I will also copy the device tree overlay from last time into this folder here. Yep. And let's change into this folder. Okay, so what do we have in here? Hello.c I will rename to my device driver.c. This is the C source file for our Linux device driver. The makefile will be used to build the driver, and I will also use it to build the device tree overlay, but this I won't show you here live. If you want to see how to compile a device tree overlay, please check out my last video. And the README tells you a little bit more about the content of today's lecture if you're viewing this on GitHub. Okay, so first let's take a look at the device tree overlay which we'll be using. So basically here we are adding the device, my device, to the root path of the device tree. The compatible string here is very important because over this compatible string the link is done between the device tree node and the device driver which is picked by Linux. You will see how this will work just in a few minutes. Then here the status enables the device, and we have two properties which we won't touch today. We will touch them in a later video. But that's basically all there is. So when I will add this device tree overlay to my system, my driver should be used then. Okay, and now let's open up the my device driver.c source file. So this is just a simple example for a Hello World kernel module, but we want to turn it into a Hello World Linux device tree device driver source file. Okay, and now if you have to write a device driver in Linux, you always have to follow the following steps. The first thing you have to do is you have to name all the compatible devices. So you have to name all the devices which are compatible with this driver you're writing, because one driver can be used for multiple devices. In our case it will be just one device, but in theory the same driver can be used for various devices which are quite similar. Then you have to implement a probe and a remove function. So the probe function will be called when a compatible device is added to the system, and the remove function will be called when a compatible device is removed from the system. Okay, so now we have a list with the compatible devices, we have a probe and a remove function, and now we have to bundle all this information in the driver struct. Bundle compatible devices, probe and remove in driver struct. And the last thing you have to do is register the driver at the OS. So these are all the steps we have to follow in order to write a device driver. And these 4 steps in general are independent of the type of device driver you're writing. So it's the same for a USB device, an I2C device, or a device tree device. Only the implementation varies a little bit, but also not so much, which you will see in later videos. Okay, but first I need some more includes. So I will need mod device table.h, and I will need platform device.h. Okay. And now let's start with the first point with naming all the compatible devices. Static const struct. So here I'm adding an array from elements of struct of device ID. So OF stands for open firmware, and open firmware basically they invented the device tree, and therefore if you're seeing something with OF, you always have to think, okay, this is something related to the device tree. Okay, and I will name this my dev IDs. And it's important this is an array because in here we can put all the devices which are compatible with this driver. So I will add an element, and the only property I'm assigning here is the compatible. And here I will use brightlight mydev. And it's very important now when I'm opening the device tree overlay here side by side that this string here matches with this string here. So we have the same compatible string in the device tree overlay and in the driver, because over this string Linux picks the correct driver. Okay. And then that's the only device my driver is compatible with, but it's very important to add an empty element at the end of the list, because the empty element signalizes this is the end of the list. Okay, cool. So we have named all our compatible devices in the my dev IDs array. And now I will use the macro module device table and add this to the module device table for device tree drivers. So this here would not be mandatory. This is only used for automatical loading of kernel modules. So in case we add our driver, our kernel object file of the driver to our system kernel object files, and when the kernel starts and the driver is not loaded, but a device with the compatible string is detected, then yeah, the kernel or the Linux system can find the driver which is compatible with this device and loads the kernel object automatically. That's the reason why we need this sometimes, but in our case, as we're loading the driver manually with insmod, we would not need this here, but yeah. Okay, now the next thing we have to do is we have to implement a probe and a remove function. The return value is an integer, 0 on success if the probing was successful, error code else. So I will call the probe function mydevprobe. And the probe function has one argument from the type struct, platform device pdev. And as an argument, it has a pointer to our platform device, which also contains the properties we assign to the device, but I will show you how to use this pointer in later videos. So in here I will just print the line to the kernel's log, mydev probe function is called, and at the end so normally in the probe function you would allocate all the resources you need, you will set up interrupts if you have interrupts and stuff like that, and in the end, if everything worked fine, you will return 0 to indicate, okay, everything worked fine. Else you would return a negative error code. Okay, and then let's copy these 3 lines here for the remove function. So my probe remove. This should be a void function. So we don't have a return value here because we're just freeing resources. And here I will print out remove function is called, and that's it. Okay, so we have a list of compatible devices. We have a probe and we have a remove function. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to bundle these informations in a driver struct. So let's declare a struct from the type platform driver, and I will call it myDevDriver. So we have here a field for a function pointer which should be called when the device, a compatible device, is probed. This I have to set to my device probe. Then we have a function pointer for the remove callback. And then we need some additional driver data, like the name of the driver, my dev driver, and also very important, the device tree match table I have to set to my dev IDs. So the driver knows with which devices it's compatible. Okay, and now we have bundled everything here in our driver struct. Now the last thing we have to do is we have to take this information and we have to register this driver at the operating system. And yep, here let's change this text to my dev init function is called. And down here we will do the same with exit function is called. And here I will call the function platform driver register, and I have to pass a pointer to the my dev driver struct here. And in the exit function I will call the function platform driver unregister to unregister the driver from the operating system. And let's also change the description. Driver for my device. Device true driver for my device. Okay. And here, so this init and this exit function doesn't do very much. So if you don't have to allocate some device numbers, for example, would be something you would do in the init function. The resource allocation would be done here in the probe function, because you need to allocate the resources for every device and not just for one. But for example, if you would have a device list or something like that you want to have, you would have to allocate this in the myInit function. But if you don't have a device list or device numbers you have to allocate, you can generate your init and exit functions by using one macro. And I will show it to you, but I won't use it here. So there is a macro available which is called module platform driver. And in here you just have to pass the name of your driver struct. And then this will create the entry point or the init function and the exit function for your driver automatically. So if you're seeing this code on GitHub, you can just set this here to 0, then this macro down here will be used. If you're setting to 1, these two functions here are declared this way, and this has one benefit. You can see this print k, or let's change it to a pr info. So you can see a print when the module is loaded, when the module is removed. Okay, so last thing I have to do is I have to adapt my makefile, because I have renamed the file name of the driver. And now let's try to build it. So let's see if I made some mistakes here. No, it's looking good. Okay, so let me fire up tmux and let's load our driver. Here I'm following the kernel's log, and in here I'm loading the driver. Okay. Okay. Did I miss a newline character? I think I did. Yes, I missed 2 newline characters. That's why we don't see these prints here. But here, yeah, I have them. Okay, never mind. So I missed some newline characters. So yeah, normally we should have seen the print of the init function here, but it will only display in the kernel's log when the newline character is there, or if you're doing a second print k. That's why we don't have it here. Okay, now I will load my device tree overlay. And I have it already compiled in the previous folder or in the folder of the previous session. So here is the overlay which add my device to the device tree. And when I'm doing this, I'm seeing that the probe function is called. This print was just here because we have missed the null character, and then when we did the second print, we see this here on the timestamp. We see that some seconds have passed between the two loadings. Okay, and if we are removing our device tree overlay again, then the remove function is called. If you're adding it again, the probe function is called, and if you're unloading the driver, first the remove function is called, and then the exit function will be called. But here we won't see any printfs because I forgot the new line. Sorry for that. Oh, okay, we see it. Okay, nice. Yes. And first the exit function is called, and in the exit function, then the remove functions of all active devices which are compatible with the driver will be loaded. Okay, yeah, that's it for today. So I've shown you how you can write, or the steps which are required to write any Linux device driver, and I've shown you how to do it on the example of a device tree device. Yeah, so I guess that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video and learned something. If you want to support my work, you can buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/linux4linux. So thanks for watching and goodbye.